amazing time. I'm speaking for Tim as well, I often do. And I do have to say this is a wonderful club. We have felt very warmly welcomed, and everybody is so invested in your club, and it's just wonderful to see, so thank you. To introduce Tim, he lives in Waterville with his housekeeper and social director in the basic need. And I say that if things go awry, that I'm keeping the house. Actually, I was originally introduced myself as his cleaning lady, and he upgraded me to housekeeper when he became governor. So now I'm keeping the house of the mansion of the governor as well, and it also has been upgraded. Police records show no outstanding warrants or recent convictions have happened to him. I'm also supporting him to becoming district governor. It will keep him out of my hair and give him other people to talk to other than me. We have kids, grandkids, and 2 grandbabies. The kids mostly get along, but can be needy. Our dog Lily gets along with everyone, but she's also needy. Tim is a member and past president of the Toledo Rotary Club. Past presidents do not need to have passed. He was the district polio chair for 4 years and personally vaccinated children against polio in India, Chad, and Nigeria. Everyone was happy he did not bring home any diseases. He was the first district environmental chair. Tim believes environmental sustainability is an obligation to our children. His Rotary projects include water, peace, literacy, and health. Some of those basic projects worked out pretty well. He is very proud of the collaborations he has had with other clubs around the world and the district. Born in Canada and raised in the Toledo area, he somehow earned a BA and MBA from the University of Toledo. He managed HR for Fortune 500 international corporations, rising to the executive suite over 30 years. When they had enough of him, or he had enough of them, no one knows which is for sure. He retired at 48. 15 years ago, bored and unemployed, he joined the Peace Corps and served in Mali, Africa. He probably needed the money. They pay $1 a day. The first year he taught basic literacy to adult blackness in the Sahara. Everyone wants to be able to sign their own name. He is very proud that some of these men learned to read independently. All of the students learned to write their own names. The second year was in the capital teaching English skills at the ministerial level. He even knew the president of the country before the military coup. Tim supports orderly and peaceful succession. He says he stays in touch with his friends in Mali. Tim likes to think he has many good friends. It is hard to be sure that the people at the local grocery store do say hi to him, and he has no enemies list. He has had his heart broken a few times, not by me, and a proud Rotarian. I'd like to introduce probably the man that I am so proud is the president and governor now of Rotary, Tim Ryan.
Good afternoon. First thing I'm going to do is ask all of you to stand up and come closer. You bring your chairs if you want, but I have a 7-minute video and we can only show it on this iPad. And so if you're going to see it, you have to come closer. So if I can ask you to do this. One of the things that they tell you when you become the district governor is I am supposed to introduce myself to you and tell you my Rotary story. All of you have been, many of you have been through many district governors' stories. This one happens to be mine. I'm sorry I've given this presentation 8 or 9 times now. One of my jobs is to speak to every Rotary Club in the district, and there are 58 clubs, so that's what I'm doing. I've shown this video. It's still a hard video for me to watch, and well, I collect myself for just a minute and to change the tenor of this conversation. I would like all of you to look at your neighbor, and I would like you to smile at your neighbor, but not in a creepy way. So you just take 10 seconds, just smile at each other. And if somebody appears to be creepy, just raise your hand and we'll get started. The reason I present that is kind of the theme of my year. Everybody has a Rotary story. Everyone in this room has a life story. You've just seen some of mine. There's nothing terribly unique. Stuff happens in life. But the point of the video is that it highlights the power, the soft power and the magic of what Rotary can do when it gets involved, when it decides to do something. It talks about accomplishments. I met with your board. Many of you are here today. I'm sorry for the repetition. But we spent a long time talking about what the accomplishments of this club are, what they've been, and there are many. You've done some amazing stuff. And then I talked a little bit about how important it is for us to engage in this club. Man, you guys are superstars. You're mighty, but you're strong. You engage with the community at many levels, with each other at many levels. But the point that I was making with the Henderson Rotary Club, which was also not any bigger than this club, they were like you. They were and are leaders. They're business people. They are used to addressing problems like you guys do. Examining the problems, bringing resources together, bringing connections together, fixing the problem, moving on, and leaving. That's what you guys do. I'm a Midwesterner too. You know, we don't like to brag. It's in our DNA. We just don't like to do it. And neither did Henderson, Nevada. But I would argue with them and with you guys and the district as a whole that we and they make bad business decisions when we do that. We are problem solvers. We're Midwesterners. We don't like to beat our chest. But look what Henderson left on the table. $12 million hospice, I think we would all agree, is a significant contribution to any community. They didn't care. I didn't think about it. And they left wonderful PR opportunity on the table. It also left on the table the ability to attract and retain new members, which is an important thing. They're good people. They are really good people, but they made a business mistake. And I could argue that that happens across the district. You know, if the people don't know, sorry, let's try that again. If our constituencies don't know, our constituencies are our current members, our partners. You guys are partnering with all kinds of agencies, this church, the community foundation, I think, and the city council. You have many partners with you. If you don't have a mechanism to keep in front of all of your partners and potential partners, the fact that you are an important component of this community, whose fault is it? Let's have a few conversations about things that we may have forgotten. Does everybody in this room know that we founded the Easter Seals organization about 100 years ago? Raise your arms if you know that. Does everybody in this room know that we, and I'm sure that Hicksville was involved in it at the time, about 50 years ago or so, we put the first $100,000 package together to begin the fight to eradicate polio. We all know that, right? Or do we forget it? We know that Hicksville has been a major, I haven't looked at the numbers lately, contributor to the fight against polio given its size. And that we started doing that right after Rotary began the fight to combat polio. And you know why? Hicksville, at a certain point, was the center of the world for polio disease. Check it out. I learned it from this club when I was doing the polio presentations 10 years ago. In the 1950s, the people that sat in your chairs must have felt like they were losing all their 5- and 6-year-olds. From memory, the newspaper article said polio in Hicksville, and then it became wider. And then the next one says 3 polio cases in Hicksville, 1 dead, and then it got worse and worse. You guys have a very special relationship with polio, which you already, and played a key role in its eradication. We all know that, right? What's your legacy? A very proud legacy, that I would argue. We're living in a time when we've got all kinds of changes. We've got stuff coming at us, new technology, changing laws, changing everything, climate, anger, fear, all that stuff. That's why it's important to it's so important to remember who we are and who we've been. Not just for us, although that's a good enough reason by itself. Certainly not just to brag, but because it's an important business decision. This club has got such a proud history of all the things that it's doing, and if the people that are in this room with me today, my friends, can't remember all of the things that I'm talking about, all of the things that you've done, you have a huge list of your accomplishments. How in the world can we expect the community to know that we are an important part of this community and there's a reason they want to partner with us? That's a business decision. I could talk about this for a long time, but I see that what time's the hook come out?
What time is what?
The hook. When are you going to drag it
Comes out, it's supposed to come out at 1, but we're not gonna worry about it today.
Okay.
The hook comes out when you're done.
I want to be respectful of
Wait a minute now, Bruce, you might not get done for 2, 3 o'clock.
I'm trusting you, Larry.
I have every confidence that this club and Rotary is going to be around for a very, very long time. Now, Rotary's over 100 years. I think you are 80-some years old. You've been around a long time.
38.
Yep. There's always going to be people like yourselves. There always has been, and there always will be people that want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, that serves humanity and serves our community. That's a good thing. We can be more effective if we tell the world what we're doing. I have prepared for this club and every club a document. I'm calling it what do we call it? Cindy, they keep changing. If Cindy was listening to me, let's call it a brag rag. It's just a piece of paper. I show the board what it is. It highlights what your club is. It highlights what your club's values are. And it's a 2-dimensional, I think colorful, attractive, accurate depiction of what this club's values are. And I'm encouraging you to use it. It's been pretty well successful across the district so far. We've been to 9 clubs. I hope that you will use it. It does a couple of nice things. For clubs that maybe are not doing kind of activities that this club, it forces the president and the board to sit down and imagine, what do we want our district, what do we want our club to look like? What are our values, and who do we want to partner with? And guys are gonna have a problem, because you're gonna fill that thing up so fast, it's gonna be, there isn't enough real estate in it to put on a piece of paper. That's something to be proud of, but other clubs may not have the same issue. You should still do it. Even though it's easy for you, even though you've got such a proud history. If your community doesn't know what PR value is, what are you doing for PR? I think the reason you should be doing this is because you're business people. You are Rotarians, you do service, but this is a business decision, and this should be part of what you're doing. It's setting your legacy. If you happen to like the president when he's done at the end of this year, if you happen to like him enough to make a copy of your legacy sheet or your brag rag, and you like him enough to give him a copy of it, he can take it home and brag about it with his family, and so can all of you. It shows your families why you took time away, why you took resources away from them, because what you're doing here at this Rotary meeting is important, and the projects to be doing. I'm going to take about 10 more minutes, with your permission.
If you have to go, folks, leave, otherwise continue, I would say.
Okay, I'm going to pivot. I'm trying to have a very different year, one that is respectful of your the dues that you pay and the trusting, I don't know what the right word is, the fact that I have some control over your money. Everything I say about what we're doing that costs money is not my money, it's your money, and I'm respectful of that. I want to talk a little about what if. And it's going to go something like this. Mind if I walk up?
No?
The district gets money from different sources. All of it ultimately comes from you. But our money for spending comes to us when you make a contribution to the Rotary Foundation. 3 years later, about half of that money comes back. Half of that money is then divided. One half, so a quarter, is available to you guys through, it's called District Diversified Funds. Nobody cares about that, including me, but it's available to be spent here locally. You make an application, you get mine, maybe it works. The other half is to be spent for international projects. And that money is held in the bowels of Rotary International, and it's their money. We can direct how it gets spent as long as it's spent on an international project. 3 possibilities, and only 3. You give it all to polio. You can give it, or any portion of it, you can give it to a newly created disaster relief program like Ukraine or whatever, horrible earthquake or something happens, there's money there to help. Or you can give it to something which is the most common, it's called global grants. And global grants are interesting from the point of view of the district governor, in that it's the only place where the money spent is leveraged by 80%. This is your money, don't forget we're talking about. And if it's spent properly, I can take $10 of your money and I can leverage it with a global grant, and that $10 becomes 18. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do. Why wouldn't you do that? A little bit more to it than that, but a global grant is as you expect. It's international. Typically, we spend our global grant funds in Central America or the islands or some place, and we partner always with the international host clubs. Let's say it's in St. Vincent's and the Islands. So we would partner with a club there. They get to leverage their global grant money too. And it works pretty well. I've done it a bunch of times. It's a satisfactory system. We save a lot of lives. But I'm looking at this a little different. We have a problem in this community, Northwest Ohio. Our agricultural industries, they the farmers want to produce crops that are reasonably priced and high quality. The whole community wants reasonably priced food. And at the same time, the whole community wants clean water. And getting that balance right is a challenge. So, I don't have the solutions to all that, but we just did a project with your money on a local grant to create a wetland in Napoleon, Ohio. Basically, we took marginally productive farmland, put up some trees, did some sculpting, and sending slightly cleaner water into the river, down the lake, and slightly cleaner water in the lake. So last January, I'm meeting with all of the incoming governors from around the world in Orlando, Florida. All of the incoming district governors come together for a meeting. And I met with my counterpart, Nick, who is the classmate of mine, and he happens to be the district governor in Windsor, Ontario. Right across the lake from us. Nick also has environmental issues, exactly the same environmental issues. He's got an agricultural community and Rotarians that have to be on board. He's got urban areas that want clean water. They've got to be on board. And we have some slight solutions. So Nick and I are bragging. I can brag. And I'm bragging about how some of your money was spent to build this wetland restoration project in Napoleon. And Nick, I like him well enough, but he's bragging. You know, we don't like that much. And he's telling me about what he's doing, and I'm not listening because this is bragging. And we talked for quite a while, and we finally say, why don't we do something unique? Something that hasn't been done. You're a foreign country, Nick. And if you do an environmental project that cleans up the western basin of Lake Erie, or your river system, or that flows into the lake, or the central basin, that helps us. Because we got to share the lake, like it or not. In addition to that, if we do something on our side, you also have access to global grant fundings and that 80% match. This isn't chicken feed. This can be some serious money. And if we do something on our side, on the American side, and you help us, we both leveraged our money. So imagine the Canadians do one, and it's got to be in partnership with the international club, and we help them. And in return, they come over and help us do one on our side. And let's say, just for argumentative purposes, we do it again next year, and the next year. One on his side, one on our side, one on his side, one on our side. We start to change what Rotary looks like, just like the protocol. And we start to change the lake. We start to change the river. It buys us a reasonable seat at the table, just like we did with polio. Ultimately, this is going to require large amounts of money. But we would have bought ourselves an influential seat at the table to keep the whole thing reasonable. Nobody goes, you can't piss off all the farmers. It's just not in anybody's interest. And at the same time, everybody knows what the problem is. This is a unique way of looking at it. I've already started talking to Rotary International about it, seeing if I can find common ground. We've had significant meetings with the Canadians where we've brought past district governors together, foundation chairs together, environmental people together. And I think this represents some opportunity, and I think that we should